bat, number 95, Keaton Foster.
Hi, everybody. Welcome as we get baseball underway in Sebring, Florida. It is the Florida State Tournament in DYB, the Double-A pitch machine action. Marianna taking on Lake Placid. Marianna decked out in the purple and white. They are the visiting squad. Lake Placid in the green and gray. They are the home team in this one. Keaton Foster stepping into the box to begin things off. And the slap goes over towards second, and again, we are in a spot. As a matter of fact, the camera you see, you actually have a little better view than we do because you are able to see down beneath the shelter of the fans over on the first base side. So you actually have a little better look at the field than we, but the area in which we saw Keaton Foster wrap it into, apparently he gets aboard safely. We will credit Foster with a base hit. And Marianna in business here in the top part of the first as Cooper Castleberry comes to the plate. Let's get that lineup set for you for Marianna. Of course, Keaton Foster, the center fielder, starting things off. Cooper Castleberry, second baseman, now batting. Luke Thomas is the shortstop, batting third. Stephen Stewart playing right field, batting fourth. Ben Proctor is the third baseman, batting fifth. Jordan Braxton in the pitcher's circle over towards third, foul territory. Diesel Taylor gives it a chase, but it's out of play. Ben Proctor, I mentioned the third baseman, he's batting fifth, and Jordan Braxton, the pitcher, sixth. Bryce Mitchell is the first baseman in the seventh spot. Jackson Kent, the catcher, will bat eighth. Landon Cornelius is the left fielder in that 9 spot. Tyler White, another Marianna outfielder, in the 10 position. Garrison Mitchell batting 11th, and Trayshawn Collins is in the 12 spot. Knocked down by Holmes. Holmes will go over to the bag. Then the throw going to third to get Foster. We are assuming, and again, that there must have been a little bit of a problem getting the Castleberry shot. Well, it seems like everything is going to the area of the field that we can't see. But apparently safe over at first is Castleberry. Meanwhile, Foster will go to third. Base runners on the corners. Here in the top part of the first as Luke Thomas comes to the plate. Let's get the defense set for Lake Placid, showing Bunt Thomas. Meanwhile, the runner will go, and the runner is safe at second. That is Castleberry. So a couple of base runners in scoring position for Marianna. Jake Fritz is the pitcher. Behind the plate, Brady Ferguson for Lake Placid. There's a silent shot to short, gets by Hewitt. Travels into left field, and that'll bring Foster in. Throw going to third. It'll get Castleberry with a throw to third. Luke Thomas winds up at second. So an RBI single for Thomas. That gets Foster home. Castleberry tagged out at third. And there's one away for Stephen Stewart. Rest of the Lake Placid defense, Weston Holmes at first. Gabriel Taylor, the second baseman. At shortstop, Zach Hewitt. Diesel Taylor at third. In the outfield, you've got Eddie Baldwin in left. The center fielder is Brody Danzy. Right center field, Logan Sartori. And in right field, Eli Malden. So there is your lineup defensively for Lake Placid. The offense for Marianna. One away, one in, 1-0 advantage. Wrapped right back to the pitcher. Fritz has got it, lobs over to first. He will get the out there. Thomas will go to third, but he's at third with 2 away. And Ben Proctor coming to the plate. Our apologies, by the way. An issue with software means I don't have a scoreboard, so I'll try to keep you posted on what is happening. 1-0 advantage, Marianna. And we will try to resolve those scoreboard issues. Actually got a scoreboard, to be perfectly honest, as it is rolled towards Fritz. Fields fires over to first. It's not in time. And the infield shot by Proctor brings in Thomas. Marianna with a 2-zip lead. So Marianna plates a couple of runs as Proctor is the base runner at first. 2 away for Jordan Braxton. Well, obviously there's some noticeable differences in this form of baseball as compared to others don't have a pitcher and a pitching machine. In Dixie Youth Baseball, as Broxton swings and misses, throw goes to second, trying to get the runner, and got him. Ben Proctor trying to get into scoring position. The effort to steal second comes up short. Nice throw down by Brady Ferguson, and Marianna will plate a couple of runs in the top part of the inning. We go to the bottom of the first. 2-zip Marianna, Lake Placid coming to bat.
Up to bat, number 21, Brody Danzy.
We head to the bottom of the first. Brody Danzy starting things off for Lake Placid. Top part of the inning saw Marianna played a couple of runs. 2-zip advantage. As we head into the bottom part of the inning, Brody Danzy, the center fielder, starting things off for Lake Placid. Brady Ferguson is the catcher, batting second. Diesel Taylor, third baseman in the 3 spot, fouled up against the screen by Danzy. Zach Huron, shortstop's got the 4-hole. Weston Holmes is the first baseman, batting fifth. Eddie Baldwin, left fielder in the 6 spot. Jake Fritz is the pitcher, batting seventh. Second baseman Gabriel Taylor in the 8-hole. Gavin Kennedy batting ninth. Eli Malden is the right fielder. He will bat 10th. Shot over towards third, scooped up by Proctor. Throw across the diamond. And again, that's in an area where we can't see, but apparently he is safe. So Danzy gets on with what we will classify as a leadoff single. Now, of course, these are youngsters playing pitch machine, and we're probably a little more generous with the lack of errors. Swing and a miss by Ferguson. Logan Santori is the right center fielder batting 11th.
39.
And Brody Brown in that 12 spot. Marianna with a 2-zip lead. Lake Placid with a base runner aboard here in the bottom of the first. Well, it's the first game of the day. First DYB tournament, state tournament-wise, of the year. So we've got some bugs to work out, and it took us a little longer than anticipated to get the game coverage underway. And then, of course, we've got a few bugs with our software that aren't yet ironed out. As a matter of fact, with limited time between games, may not get ironed out today, and that is, of course, the lack of a scoreboard. But we'll bring in some new stuff tomorrow to make sure that problem is taken care of. Nice grab by the pitching machine by Jordan Braxton, and Brady Ferguson will line out for out number 1. 1 away for Diesel Taylor.
23, Diesel Taylor.
Defensively for Marianna, Jordan Braxton. I make that Broxton. I put an A there instead of an O. That is Jordan Broxton. Just made that great catch. He is next to the pitching machine. Jackson Kent behind the plate. Bryce Mitchell at first. The second baseman, Cooper Castleberry. At shortstop, Luke Thomas. Ben Proctor is at third. In the outfield, Landon Cornelius. He is in left for center fielder Keaton Foster. Right field, Stephen Stewart. Right center, Tyler White. So there is your offense, your defense for this Marianna squad. By the way, Marianna hosting a World Series, or make that a state tournament. They've hosted World Series in years gone by. But we'll be hosting a state tournament in a couple of weeks, the AAA in the Ozone for the state of Florida, taking place in Marianna. Diesel Taylor followed by Zach Hewitt. After that top part of the inning, by the way, for Marianna, in which Foster got on, Castleberry got aboard. Thomas did the same. It was Foster and Thomas that came in. Ben Proctor ending the inning, trying to steal second, got caught doing so. And out goes Diesel Taylor. You get 5 pitches total. And if you don't like any of the 5, well, you got to like one of the 5. Don't like any of the 5, and there is a trip to the dugout without being able to make an effort to get to first. So 2 away for Zach Hewitt. Base runner at third, Brody Danzy. Lake Placid got Danzy to lead off. And Ferguson lines out. Taylor out as well, and out goes Hewitt too. Flies out into center field. Great catch to put an end to the inning, and some outstanding defense from Marianna, creating a scoreless bottom part of the first for Lake Placid.
Right here on JockJive.com.
We head into the top of the second. Jordan Braxton starting things off. Or make that Broxton. I guess I am intent on calling Braxton for the remainder of the day. But it is Jordan Braxton. Made that great catch, by the way. The line by Brady Ferguson in the bottom part of the first, which probably saved a run at that point. Of course, Taylor goes down. Here it does as well. Lake Placid scoreless in the bottom part of the first. Here we are in the second in a 2-0 contest. Braxton, Mitchell, and Kent all 2 up. 6, 7, and 8 spots, 2-0 advantage. Marianna got a couple of runs in the first. It is a 5-inning game. Checking with our official, 6. Got to get acclimated to all the rules where AA pitch machine is concerned. We do a lot of baseball during the course of the year. As a matter of fact, started back in January, but it's been the older divisions, specifically junior college and some college mixed in, so they don't play exactly as we do here in AA. There's a shot by Broxton over towards right field. And I see Broxton headed towards the dugout, so that means that he is indeed an out. And again, our apologies, but the way we are situated here in the box, the cover for the fans over on the first base side shields our view of first. But cannot blame folks here in Central and South Florida for wanting to find some shade. Temperatures expected to get into the 90s today. And those heat indices 100 plus. Heck, it's the first day of July, though. It's the deep south. This is what you're supposed to have this time of year. Swing and a miss by Mitchell. 2-0 Marianna advantage. We're in the top part of the second. Jackson Kent moving to the on-deck circle. 4 went up, 3 went down, 1 left aboard in the bottom of the first for Lake Placid. Brody Danzy with a leadoff single, got to third. Ferguson, Taylor, and Hewitt all went down. And Bryce Mitchell steps in. Well, we're going to get a shout-out number to you here in just a moment. I think we'll crank up the shout-outs in the third. There is a swing and a miss, and out goes Mitchell. So 2 away from Marianna. Here in the top part of the second. Jackson Kent, followed by Landon Cornelius. Jot the number down, by the way, 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. In a bit, we'll open up the lines for shout-outs. We'll do that in the third. Let you have the third through the sixth to send shout-outs. Swing and a miss by Kent. Couple of strikes on the third batter here in the top of the second. 2-0 Marianna score. Dixie Youth Baseball underway. We'll be in all of the Florida State tournaments. As this one is sent down towards third, scooped up by Taylor. We'll send it across the diamond and get it there in time to get Kent on the 5-3 putout. 3 go up, 3 go down. Nobody scores in the top part of the second. We go to the bottom of the inning. It's a 2-0 advantage. It belongs to Marianna. Southern Reserve to begin this one. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
We enter the bottom of the second. Weston Holmes starting things off for Lake Placid. Eddie Baldwin, Jake Fritz due up in the inning 2. A 2-0 advantage, Marianna. Well, I'm looking at notes from Facebook and elsewhere. I see one that says the website is down. Just checked, not on my end. So if you do have friends and neighbors, shot toward center field by Weston Holmes. And that will get by the center fielder and travel into the deeper part of the park. But an excellent job defensively by Marianna as teammates covered for the fact that it got beyond the initial defender and the base runner is aboard. So Weston Holmes gets on with a leadoff single. Eddie Baldwin steps in, stolen base for Holmes, and he is now at second as Eddie Baldwin awaits another pitch. Jake Fritz moving to the on-deck circle. Lake Placid got their leadoff batter aboard in the first as Brody Danzy singled. Broxton coming out of the circle, trying to track down the Baldwin shot. Slow roller out towards the pitching machine, and Eddie Baldwin is on. So back-to-back base hits, have a couple of base runners on for Lake Placid here in the bottom of the second with Jake Fritz coming to the plate. Marianna with a 2-0 advantage, but Lake Placid in the bottom of the second threatening with their first two hitters aboard. Fritz not liking the opening pitch. Meanwhile, Holmes and Baldwin both advancing on the double steal. So not only a couple of base runners on, but both are in scoring position for Lake Placid here in the bottom of the second. And an opportunity for Lake Placid to tie this one up at 2. Pitch to Fritz, swung on and missed. Gabriel Taylor moving to the on-deck circle. 3 up, 3 down in the top part of the inning. After a 2-run first, Marianna goes scoreless in the second. After a scoreless first, Lake Placid trying to plate runs here in the second inning. Couple of strikes now on Jake Fritz. I mentioned that we're at all the Florida State DYB tournaments. AAA, Ozone, T-ball, and Majors. T-ball and Majors next week in East Lakeland. The following week in Marianna, the AAA and the Ozone. Swing, a miss, and out goes Fritz. One away here in the bottom of the second. Gabriel Taylor coming to the plate. Gavin Kennedy moves to the on-deck circle. Also, we're handling Alabama's AAA and Ozone State tournaments. Got World Series events in every age division that has World Series. I think T-ball is the only one that does not. So AA, AAA, Ozone, and Majors World Series. Plus doing some baseball in Spring Hill next week. Base hit for Taylor. That will drive in at least one. Holmes comes in and scores, rounding third. Headed to the house as well. Baldwin a 2 RBI. Gabriel Taylor single has tied this one up at 2. So Lake Placid ties this one at 2 each in the bottom of the second for Gavin Kennedy. Eli Malden moving to the on-deck circle. Well, we are hoping Mama Nature cooperates with baseball on a Saturday here in Sebring, Florida. Taylor thinking about going to second on the pitch to Gavin Kennedy, but he will turn around and head back to first, get there safely. The threat of rain here is in the afternoon, but there again, I mentioned we're in the deep south, and it's July. This is what you get in the south in July. Stolen base for Taylor. And the go-ahead run now in scoring position for Lake Placid in the bottom part of the second. And Gavin Kennedy with a chance to give Lake Placid the lead here in inning 2. Games have a 90-minute cap. Of course, if you're tied, you got to go beyond the 90 minutes. Right now, we are 26 minutes into this one. Swing and a miss by Kennedy. So you got 90 minutes, 6 innings, or the mercy rule, whichever comes first. Tied at 2 here between Lake Placid and Marianna. In the bottom of the second, Kennedy will foul that one out of play. 4 fields in use. We are on Elks Field. Mike right out here, Anthony Crum and Justin Alm. Swing and a miss by Kennedy, and Kennedy becomes out number 2. 2 gone for Eli Malden. 2-2 contest, bottom of the second. Again, our apologies, no scoreboard because of some software issues that we feverishly work to resolve. And when you are of limited computer literacy skills, resolving becomes a major issue. So not sure what the problem is with software, but certainly we'll hope to get that corrected between games, if not definitely between days. But wanted to be sure that you got the coverage underway, so just kind of forgot the fact we didn't have a scoreboard to post on the coverage. And have Eli Malden now stepping into the box, rams it over towards second. Castleberry trying to get it over to first. He will. And Malden will go down on the 4-3. But Lake Placid does in the bottom of the second what Marianna did in the top of the first. Score 2, and that's got us tied at 2 as we head to the third. We enter the top of the third. Landon Cornelius starting things off. Tyler White, Garrison Mitchell due up in the inning, too. Two contest in the third. Well, I promised you in the third to take your shout-outs. So since we don't have graphics abilities or limited graphics abilities, got to rely on your memory. So implant this in those brain cells. 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385 if you'd like to send a shout-out. Now, shout-outs work this way. Obviously, you want to encourage a team member or a team. Root them on. Go get them. Sick them. Beat them. Win it. That kind of stuff. Also got a few other things we'd like for you to attach to the shout-out. Where you are watching from, as in what city, state, country, that kind of thing. And if it's a unique spot. You know, these days you can carry game coverage with you everywhere you go. So if it's unique and we can talk about it, put that on there too. 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. Landon Cornelius, Tyler White, Garrison Mitchell due up in the Marianna third. Marianna, a couple of runs in the first, nothing in the second. Lake Placid tying it up with a couple of runs in the bottom of the second. Rolled slowly towards Fritz. Can't get to it. Neither can second baseman Gabriel Taylor. And the leadoff batter is aboard for Marianna. And Tyler White will have an opportunity to move Cornelius from first on. Garrison Mitchell moving to the on-deck circle. I mentioned we are in Sebring, the state tournament next week in East Lakeland, the following week in Marianna, fouled off by White. I have been here before. We've been covering Florida DYB tournaments since about 2008 or 9, but it has been a while. Good to be back in Sebring. Those state tournaments for Alabama in Andalusia and Troy, and then of course World Series events in Cleveland, Mississippi and Oxford, Alabama. Two in the third. Tyler White batting with Cornelius aboard at first. Nobody out in the third. Garrison Mitchell to the on-deck circle. Chop towards Fritz. Picks up, fires over to first. And he will get the out there. Cornelius, though, the go-ahead run, moves to second. So White out on the 1-3 put-out. Garrison Mitchell coming to the plate next. In years gone by, it seemed like Florida did a rotation of 12 first time through that batting order and then 9 from there on out, but at least not in Double-A. So apparently it's the older age divisions that do the lopping off of the bottom 25% of the order. Throw going down to third. Cornelius able to get in safely and then get back safely as the ball comes in quickly from Eddie Baldwin in left. So Cornelius about 60 feet away from giving Marianna the lead back. Garrison Mitchell, the left-hander, pops it up on the infield, and it will drop in front of Gabriel Taylor. Throw coming to the house, won't get Cornelius. Meanwhile, with a throw to the plate, that gives an opportunity for Garrison Mitchell to get to second, and he is there safely. And Marianna will reclaim the lead on the Garrison Mitchell infield shot. It is a 3-2 advantage. One away for Trayshawn Collins. Top of the order awaits on deck. Already in the third, 35 minutes in. Boy, this is a far cry from some stuff we've done during the course of the year. Got through with the NJCAA Division II World Series as this one is rolling slowly towards shortstop here. It Wisely will not make a throw, and there's runners now in the corners as Mitchell goes to third and Collins the base runner at first. But there in that World Series, it would take about an hour, hour 15, sometimes an hour and a half to get to the third inning. So this into the third, 30 minutes in, feels pretty good. Of course, I probably shouldn't say anything, you know, that media jinx. Now it'll bog down and take an hour or so to get to the fourth inning, but maybe not. Well, let's see. I've got a schedule around here somewhere. Let's see what we've got going on currently. Obviously, this one between Lake Placid and Marianna. It is Pool 1 of the traditional machine pitch tournament. Also going on in Pool 2, West Volusia and Sebring. And then, of course, you've got a couple of games in the B division. In B division play, Fort Meade and Shalimar, Port St. Joe, and Liberty County. Next here, South Sumter and West Seminole. 3-2 contest. Foster tagged out is the base runner Collins by Gabriel Taylor. So Foster wrapping into the unassisted put out by Taylor of Collins. The run will come in and score, though, to give Marianna the lead. And Foster will pick up the RBI. 2 away. Collins goes back to the dugout. Foster the base runner at first. And now a 4-2 contest. Well, actually, they had taken the lead on the Cornelius run. Now add to the lead on the Mitchell run. It's a 4-2 game. As that one is fouled out of play by Cooper Castleberry. Castleberry with a base hit in the first, and admittedly, probably a little kind, a little generous where these youngsters are concerned. Some things I score as base hits are likely errors, but hey, they're youngsters. Popped up towards third and trying to make an acrobatic catch is Diesel Taylor. Cannot. But they're young. It's July. We're in South Florida. So what might be an error elsewhere, at least in this unofficial scorebook, sometimes turns into an H. Shot towards center field, and there is a base hit for Cooper Castleberry. Foster will wind up at second. And Castleberry's got his second base hit of the game. Now 2 for 2 in a 4-2 contest, Marianna. Luke Thomas with an RBI single in the first, scored a run as well. Steven Stewart moving to the on-deck circle. Well, it's all pool play today and tomorrow, and then obviously you want to be one of the top teams in pool play. You need to be one of the top 2 in pools 1 and 2 to advance to bracket play starting on Monday. Line right at shortstop, Zach Hewitt. It winds up in left field, given the green line as Foster from third. He will be tagged out on the plate by Brady Ferguson. Marianna aggressive on the base path, thought they had their 5th run of the game with Foster coming to the house, but he is tagged out at home, and that puts an end to the top of the third. But a productive inning for Marianna. They played 2. It's a 4-2 Marianna lead as we head to the bottom of the inning. Midfield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley, that was 20 in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, but she's done her part for the season. We enter the bottom of the third. Logan Sartori leading things off. Brody Brown, Brody Danzy due up in the inning too. A double dose of Brody here in the bottom of the third. Marianna with the 4-2 advantage, trying to make it 5-2. Trying to get Foster in on a shot by Thomas into left field, but Foster thrown out at home plate. And Marianna taking a 2-run lead into the bottom of the third. Logan Santori, Brody Brown, the 11 and 12 spots, and then the top of the order, Brody Danzy, due up. Hey, quick reminder, love to have you as a friend on Facebook. We're trying to get to 10,000 likes this summer. I think we can do it. 9,057, so we're less than $1,000 away. You can go to the homepage of JockJive.com. There are shortcuts to all the social media stuff, or you can simply go to the social media. Broxton will come out of the circle. Field go over to first and get Sartori on the 1-3 putout. One away here in the third for Brody Brown. Also follow us on Twitter. So either go to the homepage and take a shortcut to Facebook or JockJive's Twitter page, or simply go to Facebook and put JockJive Sports in the search engine. On Twitter at JockJive. There we keep you updated on all kinds of stuff. Where this tournament is concerned, scores, schedules, if there are weather delays, let's hope not, but if there is, you're kind of like part of an exclusive club. You find out about that information before anybody else does. Well, almost anybody. I guess here at the park, if you know the right people, then maybe you can beat us to the punch as far as getting that info out. Don't have to close out the coverage, by the way. Just open up a brand new browser. To like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or vice versa. Follow us on Facebook and like us on Twitter. One away, Brody Brown, nobody aboard in the bottom of the third. 4-2 Marianna score. Swing and a miss by Brown, and he will go down. Back-to-back outs here in the third as we get back to the top of the order. And Brody Danzy coming to the plate.
Up to bat, number 21, Brody Danzy.
Danzy with a single in the first led the game off, at least for Lake Placid, with a base hit in the first. Was stranded when Ferguson, Taylor, and Hewitt went down. Shoots this one over towards second. Winds up in right field, and aboard with his second base hit of the game is Brody Danzy. So a two-out single has Danzy on for Brady Ferguson. Ferguson with a line out to Broxton in that circle around the pitching machine. All grass infield. I would think these youngsters probably like that. Maybe a little more sure hops on the roll towards the infield. So it's all grass with the exception of around the bases. And of course you can see there that path between home plate and the pitching machine. Runner takes off, runner safe at second, that is Danzy. Throw down by Jackson Kent, but can't get Danzy. He's at second with a stolen base. Brady Ferguson followed by Diesel Taylor. (4-2) Marianna lead, bottom of the third. Popped up towards first, over in foul territory, and there to make the catch is Bryce Mitchell. So Danzy gets on again, but it's a 4-up, 3-down inning, as Ferguson will fly out to first for out number 3. We head to the fourth, 4-2 Marianna.
Southern to serve to begin this with the time. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
Mosley. Play in the game. Well, she's been the head coach, so she's done her part. We ended the top of the fourth. My apologies. As I mentioned earlier, that it is the first game and first day of the tournament, so we got some issues on another field had to address very quickly. But here we are. Marianna with a 4-2 advantage in the top of the fourth. Third inning for Lake Placid. 4 go to the plate. Brody Danzy gets a base hit, but Ferguson, Santori, and Brown all go down. So here we are in the fourth. Leading things off, Stephen Stewart. Ben Proctor, Jordan Broxton due up in the inning, too. A 4-2 Marianna lead. Got a couple of runs in the first, got a couple of runs in the third. Lake Placid, pair of runs in the second. Fielded in the circle by Fritz will go over to first. And Stephen Stewart's out to begin the fourth. One away for Ben Proctor.
Number 21, Ben Proctor.
Ben Proctor with a single and RBI in the first. 1 for 1. Jordan Broxton moving to the on-deck circle. Well, I mentioned all the perimeters on coverage from the standpoint of the game. You got 90 minutes as a cap. You've got the possibility of the mercy rule. You've got these other factors that could impact the game as far as its length of play. Another, although you don't expect it to be much of an issue at any point, but that is that everybody's got to have an opportunity to bat. And I have seen games where you would have such a lead for one team that you'd have to, typically you would have implemented the mercy rule, but because everybody had not had an opportunity to bat, then you still went to either the top or the bottom of the next inning. Of course, that's not an issue here. Everybody's already batted. We're in the fourth, so that's a factor we will take off the table. Ben Proctor, nobody aboard. Here in the top of the fourth, Jordan Broxton coming to the on-deck circle. We are 49 minutes into the game. So it's on average taken about a little over 10 to 12 minutes per inning as Proctor will fly out to second. Catch made by Gabriel Taylor. And there's 2 away in the fourth for Jordan Broxton. Back this direction. Multi-field complex. And I see fields to the outfield. I see playgrounds to the outfield. Nice complex here. Sent into center field by Jordan Broxton. And Broxton now 1 for 2 in the game. A 2-out single's got a base runner on for Marianna in the top of the fourth. Bryce Mitchell, who was a strikeout victim in the second, coming to the plate here in the fourth. Jackson Kent moving to the on-deck circle. They need a sports fix 24/7, whether live or archived. You get it on JockJive. We have multiple channels with multiple sporting events and shows from practically every level of competition. There's the ACCC, GCAA, Georgia Military College channel, DYB, Dixie Baseball, Georgia Highland Softball channels, and so much more. Into center field, back-to-back base hits, have a couple of Marianna All-Stars aboard. Broxton and Mitchell getting on. JockJive.com for those with an insatiable sports appetite. 2 gone, 2 on, 2-run lead here in the fourth. Jackson Kent, who hit into the 5-3 in the second batting, swing and a miss. 11 base hits in the game now for Marianna. And the last 2 have come with 2 gone. Stewart and Proctor go down. Broxton and Mitchell get on, and so does Kent. Into left field, and the bases are loaded for Landon Cornelius in the fourth. 12 base hits in the game now for Marianna. And the base is full for Landon Cornelius. Cornelius with a single and a run scored. He stole a base as well in the third and has an opportunity to drive in runs here. Smacks this one foul. And that's one of his potential complement of 5 pitches. Tyler White moving to the on-deck circle. Early swing, and the count goes 0-2 on Cornelius. Marianna, Lake Placid opening game. Pool play 1, traditional machine pitch baseball, pitch inside. And there's 3 tosses now to Cornelius. And it's a 1-2 count. As the base is loaded, Kent at first, Mitchell at second, Broxton the base runner at third. Swing, a miss, and out goes Cornelius. So Broxton, Mitchell, and Kent all with 2-out singles, but left on as Cornelius goes down. We have played 3.5 and going into the bottom of the 4th with Taylor, Hewitt, and Holmes coming up. It's a 4-2 lead that belongs to Marianna. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Diesel Taylor will start things off. Zach Huron, Weston Holmes due up in the inning 2 for Lake Placid. Marianna with a 4-2 lead here in the 4th inning. It may come as a surprise to you how affordable it is to have JockJive Sport provide coverage of your sporting event or sports team with quality streaming, offering a national and international platform to show off your school or sport. We produce everything from youth sports to the NCAA Division I, literally from every part of the country. Large productions or small, tiny venues or huge, we can and have done them all. To put JockJive Sports to work for you, email info@jockjive.com. Info, I-N-F-O, info@jockjive.com. 4-2 game here in the bottom of the 4th. Certainly not out of reach for Lake Placid. Marianna with a couple of runs in the first. Got 2 in the third. And Lake Placid, which plated their 2 runs in the second, batting here in the 4th. Diesel Taylor struck out in the first. Zach Hewitt to follow. Again, we apologize for the lack of a scoreboard. Working on software issues to be able to stick that on there for you. Fouled out of play by Diesel Taylor. Teams playing for the right to get to the World Series in Cleveland, Mississippi. Happens the 29th through, I believe it is the 1st or 2nd day of August. So about a month from now, shot foul. And it's a 2-strike count on Diesel Taylor, leading off the bottom of the 4th. 6-inning game. Unless, of course, a mercy rule is implemented. That's apparently not going to happen. Of course, still got the possibility of being called because of a time limit. 90 minutes is the time limit. We're currently just under an hour. Diesel Taylor, middle out in the first inning, struck out in the first. Batting here in the fourth on a warm morning and soon to be afternoon here in Sebring. Into right field, Diesel Taylor. He will get aboard with a leadoff single in the fourth. Zach Hewitt, who popped out to center field in the first, batting here in the fourth. Well, if baseball were to take on a pattern, then I guess this would be the inning that Lake Placid scores. Didn't in the first, did in the second, did not in the third. So if this was a math class, then we would expect that they might here in the fourth. Same thing with Marianna. Did in the first, didn't in the second. Did score in the third, did not in the fourth. So the fifth might be their inning. Swing and a miss by Hewitt. Meanwhile, it pops out of the mitt of Jackson Kent. And that will allow Taylor to get to third. So Diesel Taylor at third with nobody gone. Fouled out of play by Hewitt. Bottom of the fourth in a 4-2 contest, but Lake Placid threatening to plate runs. Popped up in the direction of right field. That will bring in Taylor. And Hewitt trying to get to second. Looked like he might have to put on the brakes and make the U-turn and go back, but the throw got away from Broxton. And Hewitt will wind up at second. So credited with a single. Picks up the RBI. Makes it a 4-3 game here in the bottom of the fourth. And Lake Placid gets to within one and has that runner that could tie things up in scoring position for Weston Holmes. Holmes with a single, couple of stolen bases, and a run scored in the second. Eddie Baldwin moves to the on-deck circle. A 4-3 game, Marianna, bottom of the fourth, but Lake Placid threatening to tie it up. Fouled off against the screen by Holmes. Holmes with a single in the second. Pops this one into left field. There's a base hit that, well, thought for a moment it might load things up, but given the green light is Hewitt, he will come in and score with a throw coming in a little slow. Holmes will wind up at second. So Holmes with the RBI that brings in Hewitt. Holmes winds up in scoring position. Still nobody out. And now a 4-4 game, and Lake Placid poised in the bottom of the fourth to take their first lead of the game. Eddie Baldwin had a single, stole a base, and scored a run. It happened back in the second, has Holmes in scoring position. No swing on the opening pitch to Baldwin. Rolled slowly towards short, scooped up by Thomas, goes over to first. Throw will not get Baldwin, and with a throw to first, Holmes will go to third. Runners on the corner, still nobody out, and Lake Placid poised to take their first lead of the game here in the bottom of the fourth. A 4-4 game, but Lake Placid in a position to take their first lead of the game with Jake Fritz, who struck out in the second, batting here in the fourth. Holmes at third. Baldwin is at first. No swing on the opening toss to Fritz. Gabriel Taylor moving to the on-deck circle. Slow roller to Broxton. Chases it down, fires over to first. Gets the out there, but coming in from third is Holmes. Baldwin will take the opportunity to go to third. So Fritz goes down on the 1-3, but drives in the run that gives Lake Placid their first lead of the game. It's a 5-4 advantage.
Up to bat, number 11,
And Gabriel Taylor coming to the plate. A 5-4 contest. Shot in the middle. That will ricochet off the machine, so I believe rules state that that is a single base for Taylor. He will be at first. Staying put over at third is Eddie Baldwin. So a couple of base runners on. They are on the corners. Taylor taking off for second. He will be safely there. Meanwhile, with a throw to second, they baited the throw. Did Lake Placid. They get Baldwin in from third. It's been a 4-run inning. And Lake Placid building their largest lead of the game now, 2. Putting together their most productive inning. With Gavin Kennedy batting, fouls it out of play. And Taylor in scoring position. Kennedy knocked down at second by Castleberry. Will keep it on the infield, but wisely Taylor playing some aggressive base running. Looks, sees that Castleberry is focused on Kennedy and will come in and score to extend the lead to 3. It's a 7-4 Lake Placid advantage. And still just one out here in the fourth. So Taylor has scored. Hewitt scored. Holmes, Baldwin, and Taylor have all come in and scored as well. And that has brought about a meeting of the Marianna squad after they had a 2-run advantage coming into the bottom of the fourth. A total of 5 runs have played it, only 1 out. And Eli Malden coming to the plate with Kennedy the base runner at first. And Lake Placid looking to tack on more. Marianna, though, they've got other plans. Would prefer they not.
number 10, Eli Malden.
Fouled out of play. Shot into foul territory by Eli Malden and wrapped into the 4-3 in the second. Logan Sartori moving to the on-deck circle. Slow roller back towards Broxton, charged down the lane, picks up, fires over to first. He will get it there in time to get Malden on the 1-3 putout. Kennedy will wind up at third. He's there now with 2 away. And Logan Sartori coming to the plate. Sartori wrapped into the 1-3 in the third, batting here in the fourth. A 7-4 Lake Placid lead in the bottom of the fourth, as Lake Placid has put together a big fourth inning. 5 runs have plated, and they have turned a 2-run deficit into a 3-run lead. Sartori smacked into the 1-3 in the third. It was the first out of the inning. Marianna trying to get to the top of the fifth when White, Mitchell, and Collins, the 10, 11, and 12 hitters, will come to the plate. Two gone, bottom of the fourth. 7-4 Lake Placid, fouled back this direction. And a couple of strikes now on Sartori. As we head to the top of the fifth with Tyler White, Garrison Mitchell, and Treshawn Collins coming to the plate. Bottom of the order, top of the fifth for Marianna. A big inning for Lake Placid, as they will play a total of 6 runs to take an 8-4 lead. Into the top of the fifth, Tyler White, Garrison Mitchell, Treshawn Collins due up in the inning. 3 young men who went 2 for 3 first time through the rotation. White wrapped into a 1-3. Let's see if he does it again. Over to Fritz. Fritz sends it to first. And again, Tyler White down on the 1-3. 1 away in the fifth for Garrison Mitchell. Mitchell with a single, an RBI, a run scored in the third. Treshawn Collins moving to the on-deck circle. The left-hander awaits. The pitching machine delivers. It's swung on and missed. Lake Placid in the fourth brought Taylor, Hewitt, Holmes, Baldwin, Taylor, and Kennedy all in. 6 runs plate. Add that to the 2 runs in the second as the pitcher's high. And you've got an advantage, 8-4, that belongs to Lake Placid here in the fifth. 1 away, nobody on for Marianna. Swing and a miss by Mitchell. Couple of strikes on the 11-hitter. No swing on the pitch. Get a total of 5. Of course, you don't have to wait on that fifth. You can swing at any that you prefer. And now the official and the coach examining the pitching machine. This is something that we'll see fairly often during the course of the tournament. I mean, it's like golfing or anything else. You move that leg just a tad and it can have an impact on where the ball flies. And obviously the machine can get hit, and that will readjust it. Or just the fact that it settles. You know, the clay that it's sitting on gets soft, gets hard, all has an impact. And just a little bit of a shift can change things. So that's what they're working on now, is to make sure that that machine is continuing to toss in the direction that officials need it to go. That'll give me an opportunity to remind you that coming up in July on JockJive.com, not only Florida and Alabama Dixie Youth Baseball, but Dixie Youth World Series events, Dixie Baseball State Tournaments and World Series, and so much more. Plus, this fall, SWAC football, soccer, and volleyball, Tuskegee football, Georgia Military College football, Great American Rivalries, high school football, the ACCC Game of the Week, and more. A litany of reasons to come back to JockJive.com often. Well, there have been 2 pitches to Mitchell. And he's got 3 pitches left in this repertoire of 5. Looks like the machine is doing what it's supposed to do. The plate all dusted off. And now back into the box goes the left-hander, and here comes the ball into the machine, sent towards home plate. And there is toss 3 with no swing. Fouled back up against the screen on pitch 4. So here comes the last of the pitches to Mitchell, unless, of course, he fouls it off. Foul it off, you get another one. There's a swing and a miss, and out goes Mitchell. 2 gone for Trayshawn Collins. Collins with a single in the 3rd, batting here in the 5th. Nobody on, 2 gone. (8-4) Lake Placid lead. Popped up, foul territory. Taylor gives it a chase. Winds up out of play. Two gone. Keaton Foster moving to the on-deck circle. Lake Placid in the 5th goes back to the top of their order. Danzy, Ferguson, and Taylor all coming up. Couple of strikes on Collins, or was that 3? Apparently that was 3. And out goes Collins. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the 5th. We go to the bottom of the inning. Lake Placid trying to tack on some insurance, leading it by 4. It's an 8-4 Lake Placid lead.
Infield kicks it in, 40, got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
Watch right here on JockJive.com.
We head to the top of the order, bottom of the fifth. Brody Danzy starting things off for Lake Placid. Lake Placid with a 6-run fourth, now lead at 8-4 heading into the bottom of the fifth. And here we are nearing 90 minutes of baseball. Of course, we've got several things approaching. The game could end, obviously, a result of the time limit. We're about 10 minutes away from seeing 90 minutes expire. Or we could see it wrap up midway through the sixth. Or we may have to go to the bottom of the sixth. Hit to short. Fielded there by Thomas. He will go over to first and get Danzy on the 6-3 putout. But again, our view of first impeded. And got to watch the players and the officials and really even the view of the official in some cases blocked. So to try to get a gauge of what transpires on the field, looking at players and fans and their reaction. And Danzy goes down for the first time in the game on that 6-3 putout. Brady Ferguson 0 for 2. He's lined out to the pitcher, popped out to first. Diesel Taylor to the on-deck circle. Bottom of the fifth, an 8-4 Lake Placid lead. And again, coming up next here on Elksfield, South Sumter, and West Seminole. 2 o'clock, West Seminole and Marianna. Your 4 o'clock contest, Lake Placid is back, taking on South Sumter. 4 fields in use the first couple of days. Over into foul territory, and just so tempting. Diesel Taylor on the on-deck circle says, I can catch that. And the official going, well, you got to give the fielder an opportunity to catch. Brady Ferguson with 1 away, nobody aboard, bottom of the fifth. Shot towards Broxton, scoops it up out of the circle. Over to first goes the throw, and Broxton with a nice play. He has been solid defensively in the circle. Gets Ferguson on a 1-3 putout. And there's 2 away here in the bottom of the fifth for Diesel Taylor. No swing on the opening pitch. Taylor has struck out and singled. He is 1 for 2.
Up to bat number 23, Diesel Taylor.
Marianna chopping to the bit, trying to get to the top of the sixth when the top of their order will come to the plate. Trying to rally from 4 down, an 8-4 lead. Marianna got a couple of runs in the first, played a 2 in the third. Lake Placid 2 in the second, and then 6 runs scored in the fourth. Swing and a miss by Taylor. He was the middle out in the first inning and the single to begin the fourth. 12 hits in the game for Marianna. Lake Placid, 12 hits as well. So both teams with 12 apiece. Again, that's unofficial. I don't do much in the way of errors for these youngsters. Knocked down at second. Unable to get it over to first, though, apparently was Castleberry, and safely on is Diesel Taylor. Here in the fifth.
To bat number 3,
Zach
Zach Huron.
Huron, 1 for 2. Popped out to center field, singled, drove in a run, scored a run as well. He was a big part of that big fourth inning for Lake Placid. Driving in 1 run, scoring another. Throw going to second, trying to get Taylor. He will be in with a stolen base. And a base runner in scoring position for Lake Placid here in the fifth. Well, again, baseball all over the place here in Sebring. All 4 parks around the Quadplex. Rolled into center field by Huron. Let's see if that will score Taylor. makes the turn from third. He will come in and score, and Lake Placid leads it by 5. And Hewitt picking up his second RBI of the game. Weston Holmes, a perfect 2 for 2, steps into the box.
Coming up to bat, number 7, Weston Holmes.
Has driven in a run, stolen a couple of bases, scored twice. It's been a busy day for Weston Holmes. Again, runner will go again safely at second is Hewitt. And another base runner in scoring position for Lake Placid. Here in the bottom part of the 5th. 2 away, 1 in, 1 aboard. Holmes awaits, drives it right up the middle. That is a base hit, and it likely will score Hewitt. He is given the green light, comes in and scores. Holmes picking up his second RBI. And the advantage now for Lake Placid is 6. It's a 10-4 game. Eddie Baldwin coming to the plate. Lake Placid doing a lot of damage with 2 gone. Danzy and Ferguson went down quickly. Danzy grounding out to short, Ferguson to the pitcher. But since then, Taylor, Hewitt, and Holmes have all scored. And it's now a 6-run lead. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Now, it's my understanding you can score no more than 7 runs per inning. Except the last inning. Okay, Broxton coming out of the circle. The field fires over to first. Won't be in time. Baldwin on. Meanwhile, the third goes Holmes. So a couple of base runners aboard, and Baldwin able to take second, so both in scoring position now. And Jake Fritz, who has struck out, ground out as well, does have an RBI. Has an opportunity to drive in runs with a base hit. And coming home from third, Holmes. He will score. Toss got beyond Kent. Broxton covering the plate, but Kent not able to get it in time to get Holmes.
Number 8, Jake Fritz.
And Lake Placid's lead now grows to 7. Another big inning for Lake Placid. Had 6 runs in the 4th, have plated 3 runs here in the 5th, and have the 3 runs thus far with 2 gone. Did a junior college softball game about 3 years ago, where one team scored 16 runs with 2 outs. Won't happen here, though, as Lake Placid will score 3 with 2 outs. Fritz wrapping into the 4-3, puts it into the inning. Leaves a base runner on, but is that lead insurmountable now? It's a 7-run advantage, 11-4. It belongs to Lake Placid as we head to the Marianna 6th.
Southern to serve to begin this one. He's got running room. Infield kicks it in. 40. Got one guy to beat, and he beats him easily into the end zone.
One right here on JockJive.com.
Top of the order, top of the sixth, 11-4. The advantage belongs to Lake Placid. Keaton Foster starting things off in the sixth for Marianna, trying to rally from 7 down. Cooper Castleberry, Luke Thomas due up in the inning, too. Foster 1 for 2 and scored a run. Batting here in the sixth. And you want to finish one of the top 2 teams in your pool as it is hit over towards Fritz Fields. And not able to get it over to first in time. The leadoff batter is on. There are 4 teams in the pool, so you want to finish 3-0. Finish 2-1. You might have an opportunity to get in. And of course, there are time slots for games tomorrow at 3 and 5 for some type of playoff scenario. Stepping on the bag at second, Hurritt over to first and turns the double play. You won't see it often in pitch machine, but you saw it there. Nice play by Zach Hurritt. Fielded on the Castleberry grounder, stepped on the bag to get Foster over to first to get Castleberry. And there's 2 gone in the top of the sixth. And now for Marianna, it's all down to Luke Thomas. Pops it up in the direction of right field. That will drop in as a base hit for Thomas. That is the 14th hit of the game for Marianna. And Marianna has got to try to pull off the improbable, get a lot of runs with 2 gone. Thomas is on for Steven Stewart. Stewart 0 for 2. He is wrapped into a pair of 1-3s. Round out to Fritz in the first and in the fourth. An 11-4 Lake Placid lead with 2 away in the top of the sixth. It is ground over towards short. Here it's got it. Sends it to second. Gets the out on the 6-4 putout. And this game is over. It is an 11-4 Lake Placid win in pool play over Marianna. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Don't forget the game archived in moments. Love to have you as a friend on Facebook, follower on Twitter. See you for game 2 on day 1. South Sumter and West Seminole coming up around 11 o'clock. Robert Williamson, so long for JockJive.com.